Tom was a quiet engineer who worked on a space research station that orbited a calm blue planet called Orin 6. Most days, he repaired systems, checked communication lines, and made sure everything worked perfectly. The station was home to 30 people, all focused on studying signals from deep space. Life there was peaceful but sometimes lonely. Tom liked to sit near the wide glass window at night when the stars looked close enough to touch. The galaxy spread across the dark sky like silver dust, and in those quiet hours he often thought about the past. There was one memory that never faded, no matter how much time passed. It was about her, the alien queen he once helped long ago. It happened years before during one of his early missions. Back then, Tom was part of a rescue team that answered strange distress calls near an unknown planet. Their scanners had found a small crashed vessel buried under the planet's sand. Inside, they discovered a single survivor. She was unlike anything he had ever seen. Tall, graceful, with skin that shimmered like moonlight and eyes that seemed to hold the whole sky. Her name was Nara. She was weak and frightened when they found her. The team followed standard procedures, keeping their distance and scanning for danger, but Tom felt something different. When she looked at him, there was no threat in her eyes, only confusion and fear. He offered her water and helped her stand. She didn't understand his words, but she seemed to understand his kindness. For 3 days, the rescue ship repaired her vessel. During that time, Nara began to learn a few human gestures. She would point at things and ask for their names. Tom would smile and repeat them slowly. Star, ship, sky. She would repeat after him with a soft voice, her accent strange but beautiful. When she left, she gave him a small glowing crystal, shaped like a teardrop. She touched her hand to her chest, then to his, and said one word, "Remember." Then she was gone, and Tom never saw her again. Years passed. Most people forgot about that mission. The story of a lost alien queen became only a file in the station records. But Tom never forgot. He kept the crystal safe in a small box beside his bed. It glowed softly at night like a heartbeat in the dark. Sometimes he wondered what happened to her. One calm evening, as the station drifted through a quiet part of space, Tom sat alone in the control room. The others had gone to rest. He liked these silent hours when only the hum of the engines filled the air. He looked at the glowing crystal on the table and smiled softly. It was strange how something so small could feel so alive. Then something unusual happened. The crystal began to shine brighter than ever before. The light was soft at first, then stronger, filling the room with a warm silver glow. The instruments on the panel flickered. The lights dimmed, then returned. Tom frowned and checked the systems, but everything was normal. The crystal kept glowing brighter. He touched it gently. It felt warm, almost pulsing like a living thing. Suddenly, a faint sound came through the communicator, a voice soft and distant but familiar. Tom. He froze. The voice said his name again, this time clearer.
Tom, do you hear me?
He looked around, confused. The communication systems were not linked to any channel. He checked the source, but the signal was coming from nowhere. Or maybe from the crystal. The voice spoke again. "I am coming back." Tom's heart raced. The sound was calm, melodic, and filled with emotion. It was her. He could never forget that tone. It was Nara. He leaned closer and whispered, "Nara? Is that really you?" For a moment, the light grew even stronger, then faded slightly. The voice replied, "Yes, human. I found you again." The connection ended as suddenly as it had begun. The crystal dimmed back to its normal glow. The instruments stopped flickering. Everything returned to normal, but Tom's heart was beating fast. He sat in silence, trying to understand what just happened. Could it really be her? After all these years? He ran a system check to make sure he wasn't imagining things. The log showed a brief energy surge lasting only 5 seconds, coming from an unknown frequency outside human range. That confirmed it. It was real. The next morning, Tom told the station's commander about the strange signal. The commander, an older man named Rian, listened with a doubtful expression. "An alien queen sent you a message?" he asked. "After all this time?" Tom nodded. "I know how it sounds, but I heard her voice." "The energy reading was real," Ryan sighed. "Even if it was true, there's no way she could find us across the galaxy. We're thousands of light years from where that event happened." Tom didn't argue. He knew what he heard. He spent the rest of the day checking the scanners and recalibrating the sensors, hoping for another sign. Nothing came. Still, the feeling stayed with him, a quiet certainty that something was coming. That night, as he looked through the window again, a strange light appeared far in the distance. It wasn't a star or a comet. It was brighter, steady, and growing larger every second. The station's alert systems activated. Crew members rushed to their posts, scanning the incoming object. "It's a vessel," said one of the operators. "Unknown design. No weapon readings. Moving fast but stable." Tom's heart skipped a beat. The light was now close enough to see its shape. A sleek ship glowing silver, surrounded by a halo of energy. It slowed as it approached the station and came to a gentle stop. No alarms triggered. No danger detected. The communication system came alive again, and a familiar voice filled the room. "Human station, this is Nara of the Lithari. I seek one named Tom." The entire control room fell silent. Everyone stared at Tom. He felt his throat tighten. "That's me," he said quietly. "Permission to dock?" the voice asked. The commander looked at Tom, then at the others. After a moment of hesitation, he gave a small nod. Permission granted. Outside, the alien ship extended soft lights that connected to the docking port. There was no sound, no vibration, only a quiet pulse of silver energy as the two ships aligned perfectly. The door to the airlock opened with a gentle hiss. Tom stood near the entrance with a few others behind him. His hands trembled slightly, not from fear but from a deep feeling he couldn't name. The light from the alien vessel spilled into the corridor, bright and soft like morning sunlight. Then she appeared. Nara stepped through the doorway, tall and graceful as he remembered. Her silver eyes met his, and for a moment the entire world seemed to pause. She smiled, a warm, human-like smile that carried both joy and longing. "I missed you, human," she said in a calm voice. "Let's go home." Tom couldn't speak at first. All the memories of that rescue mission came flooding back. The crystal, the shared words, the promise to remember. He had thought it was all in the past, but here she was, standing before him, real and alive. The crew stood in silent wonder. None of them had seen an alien before, let alone one who spoke with such gentle familiarity. Tom finally managed to smile back. "You came back." "Yes," Nara said, "because you kept your promise." Behind her, the soft light of her ship shimmered, reflecting in her eyes. For the first time in many years, Tom felt something he hadn't felt in a long time, a sense that the universe was smaller than he thought, and that friendship could cross any distance. As the airlock closed behind them, Tom knew that his quiet life on the station was about to change forever. The air inside the docking bay was filled with a soft silver light that came from Nara's ship. The human crew stood at a distance, watching quietly as Tom and Nara faced each other. The moment felt unreal, as if a story from long ago had suddenly stepped out of memory and into life. Tom could hardly believe his eyes. She looked almost the same as before, though her presence carried a sense of calm power. Her eyes glowed faintly, her skin shimmered like moonlight, and her movements were smooth and graceful. When she smiled at him, it was warm and full of peace. "You have not changed, human," Nara said softly. "Your face still carries the same kindness I remember." Tom gave a small laugh. "I think I have changed a little. Time moves fast for humans." Nara tilted her head slightly. "For my people, time flows differently. We do not count years the same way. Yet I have searched for you across many suns." The crew members behind Tom whispered among themselves. Commander Ryan stepped forward carefully. "Queen Nara," he said, keeping his voice steady, "we welcome you to the station. Your arrival is unexpected but honored." Nara nodded politely. "Thank you, Commander. I came in peace and with gratitude. Your kind once saved my life. I am here to repay a promise." Tom felt a soft warmth in his chest when she said that. He still remembered that day when she had touched her hand to her heart and told him to remember. He never understood why that moment stayed with him for so long, but now he knew it meant something more. The commander gestured toward the meeting room. "Please, both of you, join us there. The crew will want to hear your story." As they walked through the corridors, people peeked through doors and windows, amazed at the sight of the alien guest. Nara's presence filled the narrow halls with gentle light, and everywhere she walked, the metallic floor seemed to reflect her glow. In the meeting room, Nara looked around at the human faces. Her voice carried a natural harmony when she spoke. "I remember the first time I saw humans. You were brave, curious, and full of light. I thought your kind would fade like the dust of stars, but instead you reached out even farther. The commander asked, "What brings you back now after so many years?" Nara's gaze moved to Tom. "A promise and a message. When Tom helped me, I saw what humanity could become. I wanted my people to learn that lesson. For a long time, the Lithari believed strength came from power, but your engineer showed me another truth. He helped without asking anything. He gave kindness, not control. I carried that memory home." Tom listened, surprised. "You mean that moment changed something for your world?" Nara nodded. "Yes, my people were divided after the wars of the Old Age. We were strong, but without heart. Your simple act of care gave me a new way to lead. We built peace instead of fear. We began to listen instead of rule. Now the Lithari live in balance, and much of that came from one human gesture." The room fell silent. The crew listened with wide eyes, understanding that they were hearing about a civilization shaped by human compassion. The commander cleared his throat. "You mentioned you came with a message. What is it?" Nara turned to him with calm eyes. "We have learned from you, and now we wish to share what we have built. My world has grown into a place where life and technology exist together. We want humanity to see it and to learn in return. That is why I came for Tom. He is the one who began this bond." Tom felt his heart beat faster. "You came all this way for me?" "Yes," she said gently. "Because you showed me what it means to care beyond one's own kind. You gave me hope when I had none. I have missed that light in my heart, and I came to find it again. I came to take you to see what you helped create." Tom did not know what to say. He looked around at the others, expecting someone to laugh or question it, but no one did. The sincerity in Nara's voice made it impossible to doubt her. Commander Rian leaned forward. "If you wish to take him, we will not stop you, but it must be his choice." Tom took a deep breath. He looked at Nara, and then at the glowing ship outside the window. "How long would I be gone?" he asked. Nara thought for a moment. "Time flows gently where I come from. You may feel it as days, but your world may count more. Still, I will return you safely. You have my promise." Tom hesitated. Leaving the station meant leaving everything familiar, yet deep inside, he felt something calling him. He remembered the endless nights when he sat by the window, watching the stars, wondering what lay beyond. Now that question had come to him with a real answer. He nodded slowly. "I will go." A smile spread across Nara's face. "Then our journey begins." The commander stood and extended his hand. "Tom, you have served well. Go and see what awaits beyond. And Queen Nara, we trust that you will keep your word." Nara bowed her head slightly. "You have my word." The crew gathered near the docking bay as Tom packed a small bag. He took a simple communicator, his identification card, and a few tools he always carried. Before he left, he turned to his friends. "I'll be back. Keep my place ready," the commander smiled. "We will, Tom, and we'll wait to hear your story when you return." Tom followed Nara toward her ship. The air shimmered softly as they stepped inside. The moment he entered, the light around him shifted. The walls of the ship seemed alive, flowing like glass filled with gentle light. Everything moved without sound. There were no buttons or controls, only smooth surfaces that responded to touch. Nara guided him to a seat made of soft material that shaped itself to his form. "My ship listens to thought," she explained. "It moves with will and harmony." Tom looked around amazed. "It's beautiful." "I've never seen anything like it," Nara smiled. "It was built with what we learned from humans. You create machines to serve. We learn to make them live." As the ship detached from the station, the view outside changed. The human structure grew smaller and smaller until it was only a small light in the darkness. Then the stars stretched and the ship entered faster travel. Tom felt no motion, no pressure. Only peace. The ship glided through the endless sea of stars, and Nara stood beside him, her eyes glowing faintly. "Does your heart still wonder about the stars?" she asked. "All the time," Tom said quietly. "I used to sit by the window and imagine what it would be like to see other worlds. I never thought I'd really go." "You are seeing now," Nara said. "And you will see more. There is beauty beyond fear. My world was once broken, but now it sings again." Tom looked out at the stars passing by. "I always thought humans were small compared to the universe. But maybe we are not as small as we think." Nara looked at him with gentle pride. "You are not small, Tom. You are light that reaches beyond its own sky." Her words filled him with quiet strength. As they traveled, Nara showed him a series of glowing spheres around the ship's walls. Each one contained an image of a planet, a memory or a story from her people. She touched one, and the room filled with the image of a shining city floating above water. "This is my home," she said. "You will see it soon." Tom stared in wonder. "It looks alive." "It is," Nara replied. "Our cities breathe with the world. We do not build upon land anymore. We grow our homes as part of the sea and the air. The idea came from your way of planting and caring for your world." "Your forests inspired us," Tom smiled softly. "If only Earth could see this." Nara turned to him. "That is why I came. I want humanity to see that peace can shape worlds. I want you to carry that message home." He nodded, feeling a deep sense of purpose forming inside him. This was more than a journey. It was a bridge between two species who once met by chance and now shared hope. The ship glided quietly through the stars, heading toward the glowing blue world that awaited them. As the light of the planet filled the windows, Tom felt a calm sense of belonging. He realized he was not leaving home behind. He was finding a new one waiting for him among the stars. The ship moved through the deep silence of space like a silver bird gliding across an endless sky. Stars shone outside in gentle clusters, painting the dark with tiny sparks of light. Inside, the air felt calm and alive. Every sound was soft, every surface smooth and glowing. Tom sat by the wide viewing wall, watching the galaxy drift past. He could not believe he was really traveling with an alien queen through the stars. Nara stood near him, her eyes bright with a quiet glow. She seemed to understand what he was feeling. "You are far from home, but not alone," she said gently. Tom smiled. "It feels strange. Beautiful, but strange. Everything is new to me," she nodded. "When I first came to your world, I felt the same. The air was heavy and your skies were filled with color I had never seen. I was afraid, but then I met you. You gave me calm." Tom turned to her. "And you gave me wonder. I never thought I would see another world. Now I am seeing more than I ever dreamed." The ship moved at a speed faster than light, yet it felt as peaceful as a drifting cloud. The stars stretched around them like rivers of light. Nara guided the ship by thought. When she raised her hand, the walls responded with soft ripples of color. "We are entering the Lithari path," she said. "It is the safe corridor that leads to my home." Tom watched as the view changed. The darkness of space turned into a bright passage filled with flowing light. It looked like they were traveling through a living tunnel made of stars. The walls of the ship reflected the glow, filling the cabin with silver and blue shades. "Your technology is far beyond ours," Tom said with quiet amazement. "It grew from our connection with life," Nara replied. "We learned to build without harm. Every part of this ship is alive in its own way. It grows and heals like a living creature. We no longer shape metal. We grow it from crystal roots." Tom ran his fingers across the wall. It felt warm and smooth, almost like skin. "It feels alive," Nara smiled. "Because it is. We learned this idea from your people. You plant trees and grow food. We once only mined and took. But when I returned from Earth, I taught my people to see growth as creation, not control. It changed everything." Tom looked out again, filled with wonder. "So humanity helped your people change?" "Yes," Nara said. "The Lithari are long-lived, but we forget easily. We had lost our kindness. You helped us find it again." They sat together for a while, watching the light outside. There was a deep peace between them, a silence that spoke more than words. After some time, Nara touched one of the crystal panels. A faint image appeared, floating in the air. It showed a green-blue planet surrounded by glowing rings. "This is my home," she said softly. "Lithera," Tom leaned forward. "It looks beautiful." "It is," Nara replied. "We call it the world of renewal. After the wars of the old age, the land was broken. But now it lives again. We restored the seas and rebuilt the forests. You will see how the air sings." As the ship moved closer, Tom could see more of the planet. It was covered in silver oceans and emerald islands that floated gently above the surface. Great towers of light rose from the seas like trees made of crystal. The clouds glowed softly with color, and small ships glided peacefully between them. "It looks like a dream," Tom said quietly. Nara looked at him with a smile. It was once only a dream. Now it is home. The ship began to slow. Soft tones filled the air as they entered the planet's atmosphere. The sky outside changed from dark blue to soft gold. Waves of light rolled across the view, painting everything in warm colors. Tom felt a soft hum under his feet. "What is that sound?" he asked. "The song of entry," Nara explained. "Every ship sings when it returns. The planet listens and welcomes it home." As they descended, Tom could see floating islands connected by bright bridges that looked like strands of light. On each island stood tall structures shaped like living things. Some looked like giant shells, others like flowering trees. The buildings glowed faintly, alive with soft movement. When the ship landed, the doors opened and a gentle breeze entered. The air smelled fresh and light. Tom stepped outside and his eyes widened. The ground beneath him felt soft like grass, but it shimmered like glass. The sky above was a bright shade of blue with streaks of silver clouds. "Welcome to Lithera," Nara said with a calm smile. Tom looked around, amazed. Small creatures floated nearby, glowing like tiny lanterns. The trees hummed softly, releasing a pleasant fragrance. The people who approached were tall and graceful like Nara, their eyes gentle and curious. They wore robes that shimmered with soft colors that changed when they moved. Nara raised her hand and they bowed respectfully. "These are the Council Guardians," she said. "They watch over the harmony of our world." One of them, an elder with golden eyes, stepped forward. "Queen Nara, the stars whispered of your return. And you bring a human with you." "Yes," Nara said proudly. "This is Tom, the one who once showed me the meaning of peace." The elder looked at Tom with kind eyes. "Then he is welcome among us. The stars remember his kindness." Tom felt a warm wave of gratitude. "Thank you," he said. "It is an honor to be here," the elder smiled. "You will see our world as it truly is. Come, both of you." They walked through a wide path surrounded by tall crystal trees. The ground glowed softly beneath their feet. Birds with transparent wings flew above, singing gentle notes. The air felt full of life, and Tom could sense the harmony of everything around him. "This place feels alive," he said quietly. "It is," Nara replied. "Every living thing here connects through the light song. It is the energy that joins all life. It keeps our world in balance." They arrived at a high platform that overlooked a wide valley filled with floating gardens. Rivers of light flowed between the gardens, carrying water and energy. In the distance, a huge structure rose from the sea. It looked like a mountain made of glass, glowing from within. "That is the Hall of Unity," Nara said. "It was built to honor the connection between our world and yours. When I returned after meeting you, I spoke to our people about what I saw in humanity. We learned to value heart as much as mind." Tom stared in awe. "You built a monument for that?" "Yes," Nara said. "Because one act of kindness can shape the future. You showed me that truth. Now it guides us." They walked toward the hall. Inside, the walls shimmered like water. The air was filled with a soft tone that seemed to come from everywhere. In the center of the hall stood a tall crystal statue. It showed two figures, one Lithari and one human, standing side by side with light flowing between their hands. Tom's breath caught for a moment. "That's me," he said softly. Nara nodded. "It is how we remember the day we found friendship across the stars." Tom stood quietly, his heart full. He never thought his small act of compassion would be remembered this way. He had simply done what he felt was right. Nara turned to him. "You see, Tom, this is what humanity gave us. You taught us that hope does not come from strength, but from kindness. You made our world see that peace can grow where fear once lived." Tom looked around at the glowing hall and the people standing nearby, smiling gently. He felt something rise in his chest, something warm and steady. "I didn't do much," he said. "I just helped someone who needed it. That is what makes it powerful," Nara replied. "True kindness asks for nothing. It only gives." They stood together in silence for a moment, surrounded by light and harmony. As the day turned to evening, the sky of Lithera glowed with soft colors. Floating lights appeared in the air, dancing like fireflies. Music drifted from the distance, carried by the wind. Tom watched as the people gathered near the gardens, singing in a language that sounded like flowing water. Nara looked at him. "They sing to welcome you. You are part of our story now." Tom smiled, his eyes reflecting the golden sky.
Then maybe I finally found where I belong. Nara's eyes softened.
"You have always belonged among the stars." That night, Tom stayed in a crystal chamber that opened to the sky. He lay awake for a while, listening to the gentle hum of the world. The air felt alive, full of peace and light. As he drifted to sleep, he thought of Earth and wondered if humans could ever build something so harmonious. For the first time in his life, he felt truly at home among the stars. Morning came gently to Lithara. The sky glowed in soft shades of pink and gold. and the floating gardens drifted slowly across the air like islands of light. Tom woke to the calm sound of the planet breathing, a low hum that filled the air with peace. The walls of his room shimmered faintly, responding to his heartbeat. When he stepped outside, a warm breeze brushed against his face, carrying the scent of sweet flowers and sea air. Nara was waiting near the balcony that overlooked the shining valley. She stood quietly watching the rivers of light flow between the floating islands. When she turned, her silver eyes caught the morning light glowing softly. "Good morning, Tom," she said. "Did you rest well?" Tom nodded. "Yes, I have never slept so peacefully. Everything here feels alive and calm." "Your world is beautiful," Nara smiled. "Thank you. It took us many years to rebuild it this way. We learned from your world that peace must be grown, not built. Every tree, every song, every drop of water is part of the harmony we guard." Tom looked down at the glowing gardens below. "It feels like nature and technology are one here." "That is our way now," Nara said. "We learned that life and creation should never fight each other. We no longer take from our planet. We give back what we use." She guided him toward a long path that led to a crystal bridge hanging above a vast blue lake. The bridge glowed gently under their feet, sending ripples of light across the water below. As they walked, Tom saw people working near the edge of the lake. They were tending to plants that floated in small, transparent orbs. The orbs moved gently over the water, and the workers sang softly while touching them. "What are they doing?" Tom asked. "They are planting new air gardens," Nara explained. "These plants clean the air and sing to the water. Every song helps the balance of our world." Tom listened closely. The melody was soft and full of life. It reminded him of wind moving through trees back on Earth. "You use songs for work?" he asked. Nara nodded. "Yes, the sound helps the energy flow. We call it the rhythm of being. It keeps us connected to our world and to each other." They continued walking until they reached a high platform that overlooked the city of Lethera. The city floated above the sea, its towers shaped like living vines that reached upward, glowing softly. Bridges of light connected every building, and small ships glided between them like silent birds. The city pulsed with life, yet everything moved slowly and peacefully. Tom stood quietly, taking it all in. "It's hard to believe this is real," he said. "On Earth, cities are noisy and filled with machines. Here, everything feels like a dream." Nara turned to him. "Dreams are where all creation begins. Once our world was noisy too. We forgot how to listen, but now we build with purpose. We build to live, not to rule." As they walked deeper into the city, people bowed respectfully to Nara. Some smiled at Tom, their eyes full of curiosity. A group of children approached, carrying small glowing stones. One of them offered a stone to Tom. "For you," the child said in a soft voice. "It is a gift of light." Tom smiled and took it carefully. The stone felt warm in his hand. "Thank you." The child's eyes brightened. "It remembers your kindness." Tom looked at Nara with surprise. "It remembers?" "Yes," she said. "Our stones are grown with memory. They absorb the energy of moments. That one will keep the warmth of this meeting forever." Tom looked at the glowing stone and felt a deep connection to this world. Every detail, every gesture seemed filled with meaning. It was as if the planet itself was teaching him something without words. Later, Nara led him to a tall building at the edge of the sea. Inside, the walls shimmered with gentle color. It was a place filled with floating shapes, lights, and sound. "This is the Hall of Creation," Nara said. "Here we shape our ideas into life." Tom watched as a group of Lethari stood in a circle, singing softly while shaping light into form. Slowly the light turned into a new kind of flower that floated gently above their hands. "They create with thought and song," Nara explained. "Every creation here must carry peace. That is the law of our world." Tom was amazed. "Your people create art with life itself," Nara smiled. "Art and life are one. When the heart is calm, creation becomes pure." As they walked farther inside, Tom noticed something that looked like a human tree, grown from glass and light. Its branches spread wide, and from them hung symbols in both human and Lethari writing. "This was made after I told them about Earth," Nara said. "It is called the Tree of Origins. It reminds us that all life, no matter how far apart, begins with the same light." Tom placed his hand on the trunk. It pulsed gently under his touch, responding to his heartbeat. "It feels alive," he said. "It is alive," Nara said softly. "It grows from the energy of memory and thought. The Lithari believe that memories are the roots of the soul. Tom stood quietly, feeling the trees hum beneath his palm. He thought about Earth and how different it was. Yet in that moment he realized that maybe the two worlds were not so different after all. Both had the same dream, to live in peace and harmony. As they stepped outside again, the evening sky began to glow. The sea reflected the colors of the sunset, turning gold and rose. Nara and Tom walked along the shore, their reflections moving across the water. "You changed my world once," Nara said quietly. "Now I want to change yours. I want to show humans what they can become." Tom looked at her. "Do you think humanity could live this way?" "Yes," she said with calm confidence. "You already have the heart for it. You only need to remember it. That is what I learned from you long ago. You did not help me because of power or reward. You helped because it was right. That is the true strength of your kind." Her words filled him with quiet pride. For years he had wondered if humanity's curiosity and kindness meant anything in the vast universe. Now he knew it did. They reached a small garden at the edge of the water. The flowers there glowed faintly, releasing light with every movement. Nara touched one of the blossoms and it opened slowly, showing a soft light inside. "This is the memory bloom," she said. "It opens for those who carry peace in their hearts." Tom watched it glow in her hand. "It's beautiful." She placed the flower in his hand. "It opens for you too." The petals shone brighter as soon as he touched them. A soft melody filled the air. Nara smiled gently. "The flower knows the truth of your heart." Tom looked down at the glowing bloom and felt a deep calm spread through him. "Your world feels alive in every breath. Everything here seems to care." "It does," Nara said, "because we learn to listen. Life speaks to us when we respect it. That is what humanity can learn again." As the night grew darker, thousands of lights appeared in the sky, drifting gently like stars that had come down to rest. The people of Lithara gathered along the shores, singing together. Their voices rose like waves, soft and full of warmth. "What are they singing?" Tom asked. "The song of gratitude," Nara replied. "It is sung every time our world welcomes a guest. Tonight they sing for you." Tom stood beside her listening. The sound filled the air and reached deep into his heart. He felt tears in his eyes, not from sadness but from peace. For the first time he understood what true harmony felt like. When the song ended, Nara turned to him. "There is one more place I want to show you tomorrow. It is where our world began again. It is the place of light." Tom nodded. "I will go with you." As the night settled, they walked back to the floating city. The air shimmered with gentle light, and the path beneath their feet glowed softly. Tom looked at the stars above and thought about how far he had come. He had left Earth not to escape it, but to understand it better. Now standing under a new sky, he realized that home was not only a place. It was a feeling carried inside the heart. Nara looked at him as if she could read his thoughts. "You see now, Tom, humanity's light can shine anywhere, even among the stars." He smiled. "Maybe this is what I was meant to find," she nodded. "And maybe this is what I was meant to remember." They stood together, watching the stars reflect in the quiet sea. Two beings from different worlds bound by the same light that connected all life. For Tom, this was no longer just a journey. It was a new beginning among the stars. The next morning came quietly over the glowing horizon of Lithara. The twin suns rose side by side, painting the sky in colors of gold and pale green. The city below shimmered with gentle light, its towers waking with a soft hum. Tom stepped out onto the balcony of his room and took a deep breath. The air was cool and fresh, carrying the scent of flowers that bloomed in the floating gardens. He had been on Lithara for many days now, yet every morning felt new. Every sound and color seemed to whisper something peaceful. He watched the soft clouds drift past the horizon and thought about how far he had come from his small home on Earth. The stars had once seemed so far away. Now they felt close, almost friendly. Nara arrived soon after, dressed in flowing silver robes that shimmered like water. Her calm expression held warmth and wisdom. "Good morning, Tom," she said. "Are you ready to see the place of light?" "Yes," he said. "I have been waiting for it since last night." Nara smiled. "Then follow me. Today, you will see where our world was reborn." They traveled by a small floating vessel that glided over rivers of silver light. The journey took them beyond the shining city and over green fields that stretched endlessly toward the horizon. The fields were filled with flowers that changed color as the wind touched them, Small creatures with wings of light danced among them, leaving trails that sparkled in the air. As they moved forward, Tom watched the beauty of the land pass below them. "Your planet feels alive in every way," he said. Nara nodded. "It is. Lithera listens to every thought, every step, every song. We are part of it, not above it. That was the lesson we learned after our world almost fell apart long ago." Tom remembered the stories she had told him about the time when her people lost their balance and nearly destroyed their home. It reminded him of Earth, and how humans also struggled to find harmony with their world. After a long journey, they reached a valley surrounded by glowing cliffs. In the center of the valley stood a great crystal dome, shining with a pure white light. The ground around it was covered with smooth stones that hummed softly when stepped on. "This is the place of light," Nara said as they landed. "It is where our world found peace again." They entered the dome. Inside, it was bright yet calm, as if the light came from within every wall and floor. At the center of the dome stood a large sphere of light, floating gently above a stone base. It pulsed slowly like a heartbeat. "What is that?" Tom asked. "It is the heart of Lithera," Nara said softly. "It connects every living thing on this planet. It is made from the energy of unity and memory. When we almost lost everything, this was what saved us. We built it together. Every voice and every mind joined as one." Tom stepped closer, feeling a warm pulse pass through him. It was not just light. It was alive with emotion and memory. He could feel the peace, the hope, and the promise it carried. "This is beautiful," he whispered. Nara watched him carefully. "It is more than beauty. It is truth. This heart remembers all who have helped us, even those from other worlds. You too, Tom, are part of it now." Tom looked at her in surprise. "Me? Yes," she said. "You gave me hope when I first met you years ago. You reminded me that kindness has no boundary. That belief became part of what we built here. Humanity's light is within this heart too." Her words filled him with deep warmth. For years he had thought his small act of helping Nara long ago was forgotten. Just a single moment in the vast universe. But now he realized that it had grown into something far greater. Nara walked toward a platform near the sphere and placed her hands on a smooth crystal panel. The light around them shifted, showing images in the air. They were memories of Earth, oceans, forests, mountains, and cities filled with people. Tom watched quietly as images of children playing, families working, and people helping each other appeared before him. "These are your people," Nara said. "This is your world's heart. You may see mistakes and pain, but underneath it all is a deep strength. Humanity still carries the same light we saw long ago. You must help them remember it." Tom looked at the images of Earth. He saw kindness, creativity, and love. He also saw struggle and confusion. But through it all, there was a desire to grow and understand. "How can I help them remember?" he asked. "By sharing what you have seen here," Nara replied. "Tell them what peace feels like. Show them how to listen again. Teach them that life is not a competition but a harmony. You have seen both worlds. You can be the bridge between them." Tom looked at the glowing sphere again. "Do you think they will listen?" Nara smiled gently. "Hope begins with one heart. If one listens, others will follow. That is how light spreads." They stood in silence for a while, watching the sphere pulse gently. Its light wrapped around them like a calm song. Tom felt as if the entire world was breathing with him. He closed his eyes and let the warmth fill him. When he opened them again, Nara was holding a small crystal pendant. It glowed softly like a tiny version of the sphere. "This will help you carry the memory of this place," she said. "It holds a piece of the heart's energy. When you return to Earth, it will remind you of what you learned here." Tom took it carefully and held it close. "I will protect it," Nara nodded. "And it will protect you. It will help you share peace wherever you go." They stepped outside the dome. The sky had turned a gentle shade of blue and the air was calm. The light from the dome spread across the valley, touching every flower and every stone. As they prepared to leave, Nara turned to him one last time. "Tom, I will not forget you. You reminded me of who I am, and through you humanity's kindness will live forever in our world." Tom smiled. "And I will not forget you, Nara. You showed me what peace truly means." They returned to the city of Lithara as evening fell. The towers glowed softly against the darkening sky. The people gathered once again at the shore, singing their songs of gratitude. This time Tom joined them. He sang the simple melody Nara had taught him earlier. The Lithari joined in, and together their voices rose in harmony. The stars above shimmered brighter as if they too were listening. The sound carried across the sea, blending with the rhythm of the waves. When the song ended, Nara placed her hand over her heart and bowed slightly. "Our worlds are joined now," she said. "The light we share will never fade." The next day, Tom stood on a small ship that would take him back toward the space gate near the edge of their system. The city of Lethera shone behind him, its towers glowing like beacons in the distance. Nara stood beside him, calm and proud. "Are you ready to return home?" she asked. "Yes," Tom said, "but part of me will always stay here." "That is as it should be," she said. "Home is not one place. It is every heart that remembers peace." The ship rose slowly into the sky. As it climbed higher, Tom looked down at the world of Lethera one last time. The rivers of light, the floating gardens, and the shining cities all blended into a glowing web of harmony. Nara raised her hand in farewell. "Go well, human friend. The stars will remember your name," Tom waved back, "and I will remember yours." As the ship entered the star-filled sky, the light of Lethera faded behind him. Ahead, the darkness of space stretched wide, but it no longer felt empty. He touched the glowing crystal pendant on his chest and felt a gentle warmth spread through him. He whispered softly to himself, "Humanity can shine too. We just have to remember." Back on Earth, the world still moved fast and loud. Yet when Tom returned, he carried something that the noise could not erase. A calm strength, a quiet truth. He began to share stories of the stars, of peace and unity, and of an alien queen who believed in humanity. People listened not just with their ears, but with their hearts. Over time, small changes began to happen. Communities grew kinder. People started planting gardens again. Songs of peace spread across cities. The message of harmony took root. Humanity began to remember its light. And somewhere far across the stars, on a world glowing with rivers of light, Nara looked up at the same sky and smiled. The connection between their worlds remained strong, carried by every act of kindness and every heart that chose peace. In that moment, across the vast distance of space, the two worlds shared one truth: that light, once awakened, never truly fades. It shines forever, in every human heart.